Hello and welcome to my channel. If this is your very first time tuning in, please like and subscribe. And if you're already subscribed and you enjoy this video, please like and leave a comment below. As you see from the title of this video, today we're going to be doing a detailed tour of my cake decorating workroom. Now, starting from this tabletop in the corner here, I have some containers where I store some of my cutters, some Christmas themed cutters and other miscellaneous designs. Here is a simple but really cool idea for displaying your certificates. I saw something similar on Pinterest and decided to be creative with the materials I had and made it. I acquired some of these certificates from completing courses in cake decorating. If you have any further questions in that regards, feel free to ask me in the comment section below. On this shelf, this is where I store some of my electrical supplies like extra hand mixers, my food processor, bag sealer, and glue gun. And on the bottom shelf, this is where I store the digital scales, measuring cups, scoops, rubber spatulas, whisk, and I have some ice cream scoops that I use to scoop the cupcakes into the cupcake trays. Here I have the attachments for the KitchenAid mixer displayed, and on the table I have the larger attachments which are used for the bigger mixer. And that's basically it for this corner table over here. I have a cake topper displayed here as well, bride and groom, and this is the trophy that I got for placing second in Grenadian Cake Wars back in 2016. Comment below if any of you attended Grenadian Cake Wars. Moving on to the top of this closet, I store some wedding cake stands. This holder on the closet door is where I would store rags, kitchen towels, mittens, aprons, hair covers. In different sections in the room, you would notice I have some teal colored pegboards installed, which I use for storage and to display different items. Such as this cake decorating book. It's one of my favorite ones. Every time I look through this book, I learn something different. And this cookie decorating book, I got it from the Logos when it came to Grenada. And I have my course books from when I did the Wilton method courses 1 through 4 displayed here as well. If these courses are available where you live, I highly recommend taking them. It teaches you decorating basics, flower and cake design. You get to work with fondant and gum paste, so it's a very beneficial course. And the final section in this corner of the room, I have 3 drawers. The first top drawer contains most of my stationery supplies such as tape, calculator, invoice books, stapler, pens, pencils, markers, things like that. Guys, thank you so much for tuning into this video so far. Please like and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And in drawer number 2, I have some other baking supplies such as my cake dividers, spatulas, funnel, plastic bags, plastic forks. I have the attachments for the hand mixers and some other baking essentials. And in the final drawer, drawer number 3, this is where I store most of my celebration items. So I have things for Christmas, Valentine, weddings, different occasions. I forgot to show you what's inside of the closet. So here we go. In here is where I store the balance of my cake stands for weddings, cupcake stands, and on this shelf, this is where I have organized my cake drums, different sizes from 6-inch, I believe, to 14-inch. To the bottom, this is my mini pantry where I store most of my baking supplies. And to the top of this, I have my cake boxes organized. Just above the boxes, I have some additional storage for disposable containers. If you have questions about any of the items in this room, feel free to ask in the comment section below. At the top of this table, this is where I do most of my cake decorating. On the bottom shelf, I have some mixing bowls, which I use for weighing out my ingredients. And I also have some more storage containers. They are very useful for storing cake decorations, keeping them safe and dry. This particular container is perfect for maintaining the shape of your flower petals, the leaves, and I also use it when applying paint to cakes with edible food color. You're able to place a color in each section. And on the final level of this table, this is where I have all of my cake pans organized by different sizes and shapes. Next to the table is where I have the big mixer set up, and this is where I would make large batches of frosting, fondant, cake. I usually have fondant and frosting available for purchasing. Feel free to DM me in my Instagram and Facebook for more information. Links to my page is available in the description box below. And here's what it looks like inside of the fridge. This here is a bakery rack or a bakery trolley. Fresh out of the oven cakes can be placed on this rack for cooling. I attached a pegboard to the rack and was able to display some other baking and decorating supplies like my cake brushes, my different rulers that I use often. I like to say that the ruler and I are best friends. If you look at my cakes, you would notice that I always try to maintain very straight edges. Here I have a roller, and these are the different attachments for it. So whether you want a straight finish or a curly finish, you choose the appropriate piece. These are my small rolling pins, and here I have the larger ones. These cake levelers are used to level off your cake so you have the same height throughout. And this is what the ruler looks like. It's the perfect length. Here I have my pliers used when making flowers. I have my non-skid mats so that my cakes will move around. I love this ruler. It's clear and it allows me to see what I'm doing under while measuring. And here I have some of my scissors. I like this one in particular because I can cut multiple strips at the same time. I also have these roller blades stored in here, which is perfect for cutting through fondant. Did you notice the recycled meringue powder containers? I think they worked perfect for storing the brushes and other items. Moving on to my favorite section of the room. This is where I have the bulk of my decorating supplies. I use these bags to create fondant designs. I would place templates inside of the bags, and that allows me to be able to trace the different characters, patterns, etc. I have some extra candles, a measuring tape, which comes in handy for measuring the diameter of the cake so that I know approximately what length of fondant I can roll out. Then I have my tips, which are used for piping frosting or royal icing. First container has the round tips, then the flat tips, followed by the star tips. In the containers below, I have some letter cutters. I also have some Russian tips and some couplers, which are used to attach the different tips onto your piping bag. These are some of the disposable piping bags. These are some wooden stirrers. I use them for mixing food color or They act as reinforcement in the cake toppers. Here I have one of my cake decorating tool set. And next to it are shoe molds that I use for making fondant, baby booties, and high heels. And on the final shelf in this corner, I have my fondant smoothers and some silicone molds. I recently ordered some cake decorating supplies. Comment below if you would like me to show you what I got in an upcoming video. And these are just some extra razor blades that I use to score bread dough before putting it into the oven. I hope you guys are enjoying the tour so far of my cake decorating room. Moving along in this section below, this is where I store my food coloring. They are the AmeriColor brand, and these are some gold and silver edible leaf. I also have in here some spray bottles, and I use them for spraying food color onto cake. Next to it, I have my edible petal and luster dust. And these are a great addition to your fondant toppers, your fondant flowers. They make them look very realistic. Leave a comment below if you have ever used any of these products. And displayed above in some recycled tins are my cutters, and just beneath it are my silver cake ribbons, and these are mostly used to place borders around cakes. This container has different sprinkles, pearls, and edible glitter. This is one of my favorite types, the rainbow glitter. Along with AmeriColor, the Wilton Gel Food Color brand is another preference of mine. Here I have some of the smaller jars. And beneath this is where I have the edible pearls. These are liquid food colors that I use to place directly into my cake batter. The red I use for red velvet cakes, and the pink I use for cherry cakes. Here I have an assortment of sprinkles, some cupcake holders for standard size, mini size, and muffin size. And this container has a variety of flower cutters. One of my favorite types of decorations to make are edible fondant flowers. In this section, I have some more flower making tools, some silicone molds, cake smoothers. This bag contains some flower making essentials. It has different grades of wire, tapes, stamens. This silicone mold is used to make baby cake toppers. Then I have some scissors which are able to cut in different patterns. I have a Barbie for Barbie doll cakes and some edible food markers for writing on cakes and toppers, etc. Here are some themed molds. This one is under the sea. Then I have one with the shape of the human body. This is an item I use very regular. It's called a foam pad. It has a nice soft texture and a non-stick surface, which is great for making flowers and other cake decorations. Then I have some cake smoothers. Some have a straight edge and some have different patterns. These are used when applying frosting to cakes. This container consists of some of my most commonly used tools. Here I have the Tappets fondant letter cutter, and this gives me very small font size cutouts. This white cutter is used for cutting borders. I use it very often when making fondant ruffles. And this embosser wheel gives really nice quilting patterns. These fondant tools are really handy. There are lots of different tools involved in cake decorating. And I always keep this small paring knife handy. I use it against the ruler when cutting through the fondant. And in drawer number 2, This pouch contains some crimping tools which allows you to place different patterns on your cake. Grip them to the fondant and they add detailing. And I have a set of X-Acto knives that I use for smaller cuts. This is one of my favorite brushes. I use it to dust the surface of the fondant. And this one is called a pump brush. So how it works is that you're able to fill it with luster dust or petal dust and pump the product onto the fondant surface. Then I have a fondant extruder, some foam pads, small brushes which I use for cleaning tips, a square cutter, and some silicone mats which I use for making edible sugar lace. These add a very elegant touch to your cake. This cutting blade is another one of my favorite tools. I like it because it gives very sharp, clean cuts. It's very flexible, so you're able to use it on curved surfaces and straight surfaces. The final drawer of this container has different types of cutters. I have the alphabet, hearts, circles, flower petals, these bands are to place on the smaller rolling pins, and it allows you to control the thickness of your fondant. Let me know in the comments section below if you're finding this video informative or if you have any questions. This area of the shelf contains the different ribbons that I use for packaging and for decorative purposes. This clear rolling pin leaves a really nice pattern when rolled on fondant. Next to the ribbons is the meringue powder and the tylose powder. The meringue powder is basically egg whites in the powdered form, and I use it when making royal icing. And the tylose is used to make your fondant hard. And these are some toothpicks. They act as great reinforcement when making figurines, flowers, etc. Here's the microwave, and above the microwave I have two of my recipe books. On the final top shelf I have some dowel rods, and these are used to add reinforcement to your cakes. Then I have my turntables. This one is actually my favorite turntable. Here I have this nutmeg themed fondant topper, which you may have seen on my Instagram or Facebook page, and this was done in celebration of our 46th independence. This is a cake pop stand, and it's very handy for drying items if they're on a stick or a toothpick. For example, whenever I'm making fondant flowers, I would place them on it to dry. If you're subscribed to JD's Cake Vlogs and you enjoy seeing these videos, please comment below. Moving along to this set of drawers, the first drawer has some notepads and other writing documents, and in the second drawer there are some zip ties and other miscellaneous items, including these pictures which are for the character pans. In the final drawer is where I store the different hooks for the pegboards and extra electrical cords. And moving over to these coolers, dry ingredients such as flour, sugar, icing sugar, packs of marshmallows are usually stored in them. In this drawer, I have other documents such as my planner, my sketch pad. Whenever a customer inquires about a cake, I usually use the details they send to me as inspiration to create a design in my sketch pad. Go check out my last video for more information on how to place your cake orders and the different processes involved when you place your cake order. I'll include the link in the description box below. Comment below and let me know what type of content you would like to see in upcoming videos. Please like this video and let me know which part of the tour was your favorite. And guys, there you have it. That was the grand tour of my cake decorating workroom. If there was anything you wanted to see and it wasn't included in this video, or if you have any questions about anything, please feel free to comment below. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video. Bye!